Got to watch the film a little bit. Thought the guys did a good job. We got some room to move, improve. But all in all, anytime you can hold a team like that and win the way we did, it was good. So looking forward to the game on Saturday. Two high-scoring teams. We're going to have to defend and have to defend the three-point line. They're a unique team. They probably have the best player in the league in Webb. They shoot threes. He hit 7 threes here last year. Duncan's a three-point shooter, so it gives them they're a little bit different. So in transition, they run to the three-point line. They really don't run anybody to the rim unless Webb's ahead of the pace. They have Drimmick back, who has been one of the best players in Boise history. And he's always been a problem for us, fierce competitor. And then Thompson's playing at a high level at the point guard spot. And then with the transfer from Boston College, they're good. And they play 9 deep. And it's going to be a good challenge for us. So we'll try to get a little bit done today. We got some guys under the weather still, so we won't do a lot. We'll probably only go for an hour.
And then you talk about Webb.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, what concerns you about him?
I just think he can do it all. I think his biggest thing is he runs the floor. He can score it. He causes problems defensively. I think his biggest thing is his offensive rebounding. So, you know, he just gives you a lot of. He's a multi-dimensional kid that gives you problems. So, he's someone that's unique. Kind of came on the scene last year. That, you know, if I had to vote today, he's probably the player of the year.
Duncan and Webb both kind of play. They're their big men. The Boise State big man matchup's been key between you and them in Boise State for 3 or 4 years. When they can hit them and you guys can't make them pay at the other end, it seems to be. That's the difference in a lot of these games. Is that the same kind of matchup this season as it has been in past seasons?
Yeah, because I just think that we've always been a big team that scores from the inside and able to hit pick and pop jump shots with Alex and Cam and Drew Gordon and those guys. And then, you know, they came in the league, and then you know, they're unique in that their perimeter guys can shoot threes. Not perimeter guys, but all their post guys can shoot threes. I think they found a special talent in Duncan and what he can do with his size, and then they add Webb, so they have 2 of those guys, which is very unique. You know, their bench players, their bench bigs don't play that way, so they're unique in that sense. So, you know, I think they found a great niche.
Do you have any or see any lingering effects from Cullen coming off the concussion last night?
Not really. I just think he hadn't had a lot of practice, and it'll be good for him to practice again today and do some things, and except maybe stay out of foul trouble, but that's part of it. But he seems to be back to normal, so hopefully he'll play well and make some shots. But, you know, all in all, I've been pretty happy with our guy. I mean, I don't know what we were last year, but it wasn't very high. But, you know, we're leading the league in field goal percentage, so – you know, hopefully we'll continue to shoot the ball well and run offense, and he's a big part of that.
A follow-up to that,
Mm-hmm.
the last 2 games you guys have shot well, three-point-wise, specifically in field goal percentage. Do you have a target number? What makes you happiest I can deal with?
Well, I'd like to make 15, but we don't make that many, and we don't shoot that many. But, I mean, I think the biggest thing for our team is not to take bad ones. And what I mean by taking bad ones, I don't mind them quick in the shot clock if it's in transition, as long as they're not contested. I don't mind. You know, I think that we're a good enough team where we should be able to get the shot we want. Now you're going to have to shoot some threes that are late in the clock. But I think the reason why we've shot so well is just I think our shot selection's really improved.
So every conference game's big, but I mean, going on the road, facing Boise, I mean, how big of a test is this for your team?
Well, it's the biggest test we've had. Except we went to UNLV and we went to Fresno, so you have to try to win some road games. But they're not. This isn't easy. None of them are easy. None of the road games that we're going to play this year are easy. So, it's one of those things where you get a chance you have an opportunity to prove yourself. You have an opportunity to win a road game that would be big. So, I think our guys understand that.
We're focused on Boise, but these next 3 games, could this make or break your seeding going to the tournament?
Well, I'm not thinking about seeding, Lee.
I'm talking about these 3 opponents.
You said you just asked me if I'm thinking about seeding. I'm not thinking about seeding.
Well, I mean, could it make or break?
I think all the games are. I mean, we could lose these 3 games and win 6 in a row. I mean, I don't. My thing's one game at a time. That's your guys' job to do that. It's not my job. It's not my job to worry about my seeding and where we are and what happens in the next 3 games.
You talked about the turnovers and just kind of can't quite figure out why the high turnovers have been there in some of your wins. You guys are now averaging in league play 19.6 turnovers in your wins, and the margin of victory in those games is 18.6. Is there something to be said, though, for the way you guys play in those games, that you're loose, sometimes maybe a little reckless, but you guys are playing differently in those games, and that's why the turnovers are happening?
I wish I could figure that out. It's the weirdest stat ever. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe we're just playing loose and guarding. But the thing I think that's been key in those wins and by the margins, how well we've guarded. I think that's the only thing that's been consistent, the only constant in the whole deal. I think if we're able to guard and do some things, the only thing is if we could have 10 of those possessions back, we're able to score 0.2 a minute. That's pretty good. I think we're leaving some points out there, but I can't wrap my head around what that is. But we've been doing it.
Have you been seeing more offensive fouls?
We had a lot yesterday.
Yeah.
What did we have, 4 yesterday?
I think so.
5? I think we had 5. That's a lot of ours. So that's.
Has that been consistent all season, or is that just yesterday?
No, I think that game was unique. I think we've had offensive fouls before, but I think that game was unique in that we've, had 20 turnovers and 5 of them are offensive fouls. So if you take those away and make a good play, then you're back down to 15, which is manageable.
So, Craig, when you defend them, is it more of a outside in?
Yeah, you have to play. You have to run outside. That in transition, you got to run the line. Make sure you get them off the line. Biggest thing is that I think they're always trying to do misdirection. You got to guard the ball. Thompson's doing a good job penetrating. You got to make him go the other way. You can't go left. You can't let him go left a lot. But you got to make Duncan and Webb score some in the block. You can't. It's much easier if they score 2s than 3s. So. They're scoring 78 a game. We're scoring 77 a game. So they bring a lot of weapons as we do. So, but you have to guard the line. If we don't guard the line, then it'll be a long night for us.
How nice is it now having, the bench in your arsenal now? Just the bench coming out and performing.
Well, it's good. I think they got to play. So when they get to play, I think they produce. I think when they don't get to play, I think the one thing you'll see in the next games going forward, and I hope, knock on wood, I don't have to do anything else. I think you'll see a more conventional substitution pattern with guys playing where they're supposed to be and kind of not merry-go-round it like I've been doing the last 3 or 4 games. So I think guys will be set on where they're going to play and when they're going to see their minutes, so it'll be more a conventional deal.
But you said you had a hunch.
Mm-hmm.
Does that come from what you see in practice as to which one you think might have the hot hand?
Yeah, and I just had a hunch just watching our games against Air Force, the 3 games we played last year. I just thought I had a hunch with him. I thought where he can make shots and what he can do. Watching those games, all our offensive sets against those 3 Air Force games, I just had a hunch that we could put him in the right spot where he could make some of those shots that we needed last year, and it just worked out. I just got we got lucky. One of those things you get lucky in.
Unrelated to X's and O's,
Mhm.
you got that colored bands around your wrist. What are
Yeah, I got a
they?
lot of them.
Yeah. What do they represent? And
Well, one of them was our teams just kind of like own it, kind of like I just do a little thing, just taking responsibility where you are, what it means to be in the program, not making excuses. The other one's for Josie and Hugh's mom, and the other one was for Bob, who was the golf pro at Paco Ridge that just passed his services on Sunday. Living the dream, which a lot of us don't understand it and don't appreciate it. So I've got a lot of bands. I keep adding more. So I don't know, band guy, I guess, but just little reminders. I think it brings you down to reality once in a while on what people have been through and what we've been through. And we can make an impact on people and be in their lives. So, hopefully I don't have 5 or 6 more bands. But we had bad news last night also. Unexpectedly, Matt Enzer lost his mom yesterday. She died in her sleep, so it's been a tough, 12 hours, making sure he gets home and if he's all right. Really happy that he got the Arizona job. Didn't want to lose him, and he did a lot of great things here, but just there's been a lot of things happen this year that's kind of uncharacteristic we've had to deal with.